Well, happy winter, everybody. Winter comes in right about 8 o'clock today. That's the solstice. So it'll be the lowest in the sky, be just about over the Tropic of Capricorn during that time. So our days will start getting longer as we head toward tomorrow and going into January. A little bit of light there, but it's Wyoming winter. We got a long way to go, even though some places it hasn't really felt like it. We'll feel like winter across the western mountains today, though. You can see we have some winter storm warnings in effect. Just about all the western mountain ranges, from the Salts, Wyoming, Wind River Range, the Tetons, the Grovans, the Zorkas, up to Yellowstone. A couple different start and end times on these. Just go to our website right there, weather.gov/RIW for that. And also have a little bit of wind with this system. It's not going to be like earlier this week. We're not going to see 144-mile-an-hour gusts here across the higher elevations here, or 110 here across the Chief Joseph Highway, but you can see some gusts, maybe 40, maybe 50 miles per hour. Camera Rock Springs over here toward Casper, maybe around the Lander area as well. Highest winds will be across the highest elevations of the Wind River Range, maybe locally 60, maybe 70 miles per hour there. About 30 to 40 across the western valleys. For just about everybody, will be rather breezy today. The next thing I'm going to show you here, this is QPF, basically how much rain and snow is going to fall during the duration of the event, basically from when you wake up this morning until Monday evening at 5 p.m. Now this is coming from what's called an atmospheric river, just a plume of moisture is coming in off the Pacific. It's bringing a lot of rain out to the Pacific Northwest, and a lot of that's making it into this part of the country as well, across the western mountains. Now we used to call these fire hoses back in the day when I was in college, back in the dark ages in the 90s, because it's basically just spraying moisture onto it. And as a result, a lot of snow across the higher elevations. But notice how I said higher elevations here. Next thing we'll look at is snow levels. This is about noon today. You see, these are pretty high for this time of year. Usually this time of year, our average thing is basically everybody's getting snow. There's almost no rain anywhere, but look at this, 8,000 feet down around Kemmerer. They're about 7,000 feet, so it's going to be rain there. Star Valley probably rain there with 7,000 feet now. Jackson Valley, there are some elevations up around Moran Junction. That's about 7,200 feet up in that area, so they can still be snowing at noon, but Jackson's probably turning over to rain at this point. And as we head toward 6 o'clock at night, just about all the western valleys are going to be mainly rain. Could be some snow mixing in at times. This obviously isn't exact, but that's why we don't have any highlights out for the western valleys. It's mainly just going to be high elevations. 9,500 feet. These are pretty high, though. Even South Pass might not be that bad if it stays this high, but Togety Pass, Teton Pass, excuse me, fighting a cold. Driving could be very difficult across these at times. Now you're wondering how much snow we're going to get. That's the obvious question here. So the low end amounts at least this much. Valleys might not pick up much at all, maybe just Dakota doing inches if things set up right. Highest, the mountains are what you really draw attention to. Highest elevations of the Tetons, also here across the Wind River Range, Zorkas, probably at least a foot, I'd say at least 18 inches in some of these areas with the heavy snowfall rates now. The heaviest amount we may see here, if it's a little bit colder, more moisture comes in. These are some pretty dark colors in here. Look at this thing. You line this up with this over here. That's a lot of snow. Some places could pick up maybe over 3, maybe 4 feet of snow. By the time this is all said and done, some very heavy snowfall rates there. Again, usual areas there, Tetons. Ski resorts could do really, really well out of this, although it's going to be kind of a heavy wet snow, not a powdery snow. Wind River Range as well, and also up here across the Zorkas. Now, lower elevations, if it gets a little bit cooler, maybe a coating to 1 or 2 inches at the most here across the Star Valley. Jackson Valley, maybe 3 inches around Jackson. 6 or 7 inches possible up here toward Moran Junction, where it may take a little bit longer to turn over to rain. Maybe an inch around Mammoth. And look, east of the Divide, probably not going to see very much at all. It's going to be another warm day today, probably some highs getting up in the 50s. The exception, maybe here across the highest elevations of the Bighorn Range, but that'll be above pass level, so not really much of an impact to travel there. Now, our most likely amount we're going to see out of this, like it usually is, about smack dab in the middle of that. Western valleys, about traced maybe 2 inches here across the Star Valley, maybe 1 inch, maybe locally 5 here across the Jackson Valley. A lot of this mainly on the grass. The roads might not be that bad, but again, where those colors draw your attention to. Highest elevations mainly above about 9,000 feet in the Wind River Range, the Tetons, the Zorkas. Let's look at the amounts there. Anywhere from 18 to about 36 inches of snow. So 1.5 feet to about 3 feet possible by the time this is all said and done. Here's our resources. If you want weather, just go to our website, weather.gov/RIW. If you want road conditions, don't call us for road conditions. Go right here to the source right here. On the web, wireroad.info. you want to call them on the phone, if you're in state, dial them at 511. And out of state, 188 Well Road. Be safe, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.